I was searching for some information on the acts on the internet, I got to this next group's website and I found this passage. I thought, this is perfect, it says it all. And here it is. It says, we are people of the high desert, where prickly pear and yucca grow in the red soil of the edge of the pine forest. We're deeply in love with each other and with nature. And we hope that you find that love in our music. May you enjoy it as much as we enjoy creating. That says it all for Los Alamos.
Why you're so far away? So far away.
Standing by the window, watching the wind blowing, rain from the mountain to wash us clean. And the rainbow, just gonna let it go, teach my poor heart what life means. Nothing comes easy if we're not trying. Nothing is given if we don't care. Nothing is easy if we mind crying. All chance comes to what we can bear. What do we have but a love that's meant to be? Keep us safe from the night. What do I have but a pocket full of rhymes? Trying to make them say, gonna be alright, gonna be alright, gonna be alright. Adios, rainbow, time for me to go, teach my poor heart how to dream. Adios, rainbow, time for you to go, teach our poor hearts what life means. Standing by the window, watching a rainbow drifting slow on the plains. Thunderhead soaring, tears come pouring. You never see rainbows till it rains. that song. I have to tell you when I wrote this. I wrote this in late April of 2010. How many people in this room followed the blog?
Yeah.
Scott's blog. And I've gotten in the habit of every morning opening the blog to see what it said, and it had been a roller coaster, you know that, and I opened the blog that day. It was a beautiful spring day. The wind was blowing, and the sky was alternately blue and gray, and there it was, the worst day of my life. Remember that one? And I read it, and I walked over to the window. We live in Boulder, you can see the mountains, and I looked out and I stared at what was out there for about 20 minutes, and then I sat down, took 20 minutes more, and wrote that song for Scott. And then he came up 3 days later, and we played it for him, and he liked it, and that made me happy, and we still play it. Well, memories are good. I brought something along that I wanted to make an interactive part of this show. I used to be a college professor. It was a good gig. Nice work if you can get it. I did it for a while. And I don't do it anymore. I don't go that way. But Jim Ratz told me that Scott's favorite joke was the story of the brown paper cowboy. And I thought, what better way to remember our friend than to riff on his joke a little bit. So I wrote joke riffs, riffles. Anyway, anybody know this joke? Rats, if you're in the room, I can't see. You don't get to play. Janice? No, you saw the answer sheet. If you know the joke, okay, well, we'll see how far you get even if you know the joke, but 2 people have seen this. All right, the joke goes like this. Once upon a time, there was a brown paper cowboy. We'll just call him Paper Cowboy now to save words. He had a paper hat and a paper vest.
I can't hear you.
Are you trying to tell me something? You want me to get up on it like this? 2 a.m. FM radio jazz jokes. Okay. He had a paper hat and a paper vest and paper jeans and paper chaps and paper boots and even a paper 6 gun. Now here's your first question, class. Oral exam. What kind of horse does the paper cowboy ride? A paper horse. Very good. You guys are quick. You're all going to get A's. The paper cowboy lived on his ranch in Arizona near the town of Page. The paper cowboy's parents came from a beautiful place in Colorado out near Grand Junction called... Oh, you're silent. Come on. The Book Cliffs. I could apologize now or later, but anyway. One day, the paper cowboy rode his paper horse through the paper desert to visit the paper Grand Canyon. When he got to his hotel, he asked the concierge if he could get...
This is a bad one.
This is a killer, yeah. Pay-per-view.
Yeah, I groaned too.
But the concierge was a French and very rude, and he mocked the paper cowboy for his lack of dimension, and inflicted upon him many other nasty slurs and paper cuts. I'm not even off the first page, and it's bad. It's getting bad. The paper cowboy went to his room and decided to read for a while to forget about the concierge. On the nightstand, he found his favorite kind of book, which was a paperback. I'll give you that. Pulp novel is what I got. Paperback. Why not? And his favorite Beatles song was? Paperback. And his favorite movie was? Paper Moon. Just put a paper gun to your head. Later that evening, the paper cowboy became bored, so he went downstairs to the saloon and joined a poker game. But the hour was late, the stakes too high, so the paper cowboy yawned and said, "Well, it's time to turn in, boys. Reckon all..." Thank you, fold. But romance intrudes. Before he went to bed, the paper cowboy decided to have a nightcap. At the bar, he met a beautiful paper Japanese girl who immediately fell in love with him. Ariel, this one's for you. But the paper cowboy knew that this love could never last. She was much too complicated for him because she was origami. All right, that was too easy, but you won't get this one. The paper cowboy retired to his room, but he was depressed and could not sleep. I could rise above all of this, he mused, if only I had some flypaper. This is, I'll be arrested. You can't hurt the crowd like this. Okay, the next day the paper cowboy checked out of his hotel because it was time to leave. All right, now, we're honing in on the end of this story. It was a very windy day, but the paper cowboy rode his paper horse back to his paper ranch anyway. When he got there, the sheriff and his posse were waiting for him. "What's this?" said the paper cowboy as appeared upon his brow. "A crease. And here it comes." "You are under arrest, paper cowboy," announced the sheriff, shouting above the wind, and they took the paper cowboy to town, where he was tried and found guilty of rustling. We're not done here. That was Scott's punchline, to which I added 13 more. The paper cowboy patiently I have too much fun, that's why I don't teach anymore. It's too fun. The paper cowboy patiently served his time in jail, but he did not play the other inmates' favorite game, which was, it hurt too much to lose. Of course. Rock, paper, scissors. When the paper cowboy was finally released from jail some months later, the sheriff said, "Well, paper cowboy, I hope you have learned your lesson." And the paper cowboy said, "Yes, sir, I have, and you will not have to arrest me again, for I have turned over a new leaf." And then another one occurred to me after I wrote this. The brown paper cowboy was riding his horse through the Arizona desert, and he was pulled over to the police. And what happened?
Show me your paper.
He had to show himself. I now see the point of having chicken wire between you and the audience. Well, that takes us to a cowboy song. Now, we had 3 songs for you today. Let me make clear what's going on here, because I have no idea. We're going to play one more song. It's kind of a cowgirl song. And then what I'm hoping is, we brought a recording. And the recording was something that Scott and Vicki and I did together. And it was finished October 26th of 2011. And he called me that Wednesday night, and he told me he had listened to it. He called me from hospice, and he was really happy with it, and we were too. So I brought a recording. I wasn't able to check with Brian and see if we could just have this segue out of our show, because the power was off earlier, so we're going to play it during the break, and hopefully you get to hear it. And I just wanted to tell you, I played a guitar part on that, but Scott played so many more that what I played doesn't matter. It was all him. That's all Scott Bennett. And by the way, he sang those harmonies in that last month. He took the mask off and he sang them, and he sounded good.
Wondered about that rider fleet. Suddenly she froze, for there by her pillow lay a single rose. Roses giving me love, so the Lord
rose gave of her love, and there's the mystery. Will he ever return for his lonesome rose? Now the rain does give and the sun does bake, and the truth comes every day, and she slowly plowed her memories into winter clay. But she looked to the west when dusk was falling, wonder why he chose a life of trails and dust and saddles, far from love and rose. Roses given me love, so the loved ones might see what all the world seeing lovers seems to know. This rose gave of her love, and there's the mystery. Will he ever return for his lonesome rose? In the night as she slumbered, and the west wind coldly blew, a rider pulled up by her front porch, and maybe then she knew, though she was played out and dusty, and the trail all on his clothes, the long years had returned him to his lonesome rose. Roses given me love, so the loved ones might see what all the world seeing lovers seems to know. This rose gave of her love, and there's no mystery why the long years brought him back to love his lonesome rose. This rose gave of her love, and there's no mystery why the long years brought him back to love his lonesome rose. Thanks so much. Sorry about the jokes. And well, we hope we get to hear Scott playing a little song that we did together called Sweet Serene during the break.
Thanks again.